Hi again, Vic.
Hello there.
Today on Distillery Corner we are discussing Loch Lomond single grain whisky.
Yeah, so a different style of whisky. In Scotland you can make grain spirit or malt spirit and then mature them into different whiskies. So this is quite an unusual one. Loch Lomond have lots of different stills, so they can make malt spirit and grain spirit. But this is unusual because this was made in a continuous coffee still, but with 100% malted barley.
Right.
Which is very unusual.
And how will that alter the flavour? Because normally it'd be made with a percentage of malted barley.
Yeah, normally in a continuous still to make grain spirit, you'd have 15% malted barley, 85% corn or wheat, normally wheat. But it alters the flavour.
Right. So
this is not as sweet and floral as your normal cereal wheat grain whiskies. This is much more creamy.
It's very creamy.
It's a bit thicker, and a little bit of sort of malty notes in it. But most of the flavour is coming from the casks.
Right.
Because continuous stills, the grain spirit has less flavours, less congeners in it than malt spirit. So a lot of the influence comes from the wood. But you do get sort of, I don't know if you get varnishy,
yes,
paint kind of notes.
It's slightly astringent.
Yeah, but lots of vanilla coming from the wood and very, very creamy and oily.
And this is a no age.
Non-age statement,
Non-age
yes.
statement.
So it's quite an unusual grain whisky, with it being that 100% malted barley.
And single grain, you were saying is increasing in popularity.
Yes,
as a category.
you can get a lot more expressions now than you used to, and also some of the independent bottlers are starting to do finishes with grain whisky as well, which is really unusual. But that I think is going to be the next big thing in the market.
Really,
is cask finishes with grain whisky.
but to find a blended grain is still pretty unusual.
Yes, well, I'm only aware of one, and that was Hedonism, done by Compass Box. So, but I'm not aware of any others, but if anybody knows, that would be interesting.
Excellent. Oh, we'll have to try and find a couple of those grain whiskies with the different finishes and
yes,
give them a try.
Yeah, some of them are really tasty.
Excellent. Thank you.